or phone to let us know which test administrations you would like. So here I'll be selecting the financial literacy test administration without the survey. Um, and if you're not aware, we appreciate it if you can offer the survey to your students. It's a 25 question high-level survey asking students to provide feedback on their personal finance interests and habits. So it's really informative for our research purposes. And then the next decision you make is whether you will be administering this in a classroom, which is the path that a vast majority of our customers use. But we also have the at-home feature where students can test remotely using a secure embedded browser that is added to Program Workshop. And so that protects the integrity of the test, and it is recorded so that you can view the recording afterwards and hone in on some possible cheating that may have occurred. But for purposes of this demo, we're going to assume that testing will take place in the traditional classroom. So after I click the Create Session button, um, there it is. We have a session number, which you will then share with your students. And so let's then go to the student experience. Um, this is their site. And so they would input or transcribe the session number from the teacher in this field and click Submit. The next question, they will be asked to register. So if this happens to be a retake, or if they already have a registered account in Program Workshop, then they can click the radio button here. Yes, I have already registered. And here I want to highlight that we have removed the need for a password, because a lot of students inadvertently forget their passwords, and hitherto teachers were enabled to reset the password, but we found a better way to facilitate login using things that we think students will more likely remember, such as their first name. A lot easier for a student to remember their first name than password. I hope you agree. So here they have two options to provide their first and last name in combination with their birth month and birthday, or their student ID, which they create as part of this registration process, and their last name. So hopefully these two are very easy paths for students to follow when they resume with registration. But for purposes of this demo, I'm going to create a new account. With today's date as the student ID. So we try to collect only the bare minimum of PII or privacy information data. We are compliant with FERPA and other privacy related legislation. So again, we only capture a bare minimum of privacy related data, as you can see here. And I may have used this ID already, so let's just add another number. Okay, so Alice has successfully registered, and then the teacher returns to their admin interface in Program Workshop. I assume that you're able to follow along as I toggle between applications, but if you are not following these various screens, please let me know. So I'm on the teacher interface once again, and I'm being prompted to approve or deny Alice for testing. So before I approve her, I want to point out that we have, with this release, moved the accommodations feature to the student profile here. Uh, Today, it is in the student profile when you navigate or drill down to the student roster and then click on the student name. Here we have co-located it with the approval for testing. So hopefully that will be satisfactory to you and make it easier for you. So accommodations, please note, have to be set prior to the beginning of testing, which I think makes sense. So if you want to set accommodations, you would simply click on the word no, and then it opens up this pop-out window where you can choose from one of two accommodation settings. So text-to-speech is one of them, and that is defaulted to disabled. So if you wanted to enable text-to-speech, in which case a computer voice would read each question on the test to the student, you would do that by checking the checkbox. If you wanted to add time to the student, that would be done here by selecting the standard time drop-down menu, and that expands. And just as a reminder, standard time is 50 minutes. The test is 50 minutes, 50 questions. So it's typically very closely aligned with the standard classroom period length. But if your student has IEP requirements, you can add an extra 2 hours or 120 minutes to the test. So it would be a maximum of 170 minutes that a student with that appropriate accommodation can receive. And it is possible to turn off the timer entirely, but that would require intervention with ITS. So it's something that I don't have the capability of doing, but it is possible. So I'm going to add 30 extra minutes to Alice. And once that is submitted, the flag under the accommodations column changes from no to yes, indicating that this was committed. And then I can go ahead and approve Alice to begin testing. And just like today, she is then moved into a table here with all her relevant information, and you will be able to observe which question she is on and so forth. So if we go back to Alice's interface, and thought I approved her. Yes, I thought so. Hmm. It's not always easy when you have multiple tabs open. Um, I don't remember Alice's date of birth, but let's see if I can recall the student ID. Okay, so we found her. Approve. And it's clearly not being friendly here. I would need to go to another browser, which I can do that. But this is where um, testing would begin. Let me see if I can pull up another browser quickly for you all. Thanks for your patience. Okay, let me share the new screen. So here we have the student facing interface. So I'm going to try to log in as Alice once again. Oh, 624. Okay, we have confirmation. Um, and then I need to go back and approve her as the teacher. And I'm not sure why it's not taking it. Well, I'm caught in some kind of a loop in between all these browsers that I have open, but uh, that is how it works, and she'll be able to proceed with testing. Any questions so far? Okay, thank you. Next,
I have
um,
I have a quick question.
yes, Melissa?
So,
Time that the test is.
so the accommodations have to be added the day of testing, right before testing. They can't be added in advance, right?
The test session has to be open. It's valid for 24 hours. So in theory, you could add accommodations the afternoon prior to the test if it's going to be given the morning following.
But the students would have to log in for that to be
Yes.
able to, okay. Okay, thanks.
Was there another question? Okay. The next change that we'll be introducing on Wednesday involves the practice tests. And again, for some of you on the call, this may not be relevant if you're not offering it to your students today, but it is a great resource and very, very beneficial to helping students prepare for the post-test. So we've nested the practice test feature here in Program Workshop underneath the hamburger icon. So just simply click on practice tests, and the workflow is very similar to what we have today by clicking on the My Classes link. You can create a new class. like this. You can then click on it to configure the class. So again, we have two kinds of practice tests available. An anytime assignment, which is an open-ended, no deadline assignment to your students, where you can choose from level of difficulty, number of questions, and if you want to focus exclusively on one of 5 subtopics, you can choose between banking, credit, insurance, investments, uh, money and financial planning. So for this example, I'll pick 15 difficult questions and the credit quiz. If I wanted to have a scheduled assignment with a fixed start and end date, that would be done over here on this other tab. But we'll do the anytime assignment today, which is also consistent with how the practice test works today. You can add students in a number of different ways. So by searching for last name, I find a Bill Smith here. So I'm going to add Bill to this class.
Excuse me, are you supposed to be sharing your screen?
Yeah, so you're not able to see it?
No, I just see you.
Oh, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, I am able to see your screen.
I
I'm
can
not
see your
sure.
screen also, Daria.
I can see it as well.
I can see your screen as well.
I can also see your screen.
Check for
Okay.
another window that might be open elsewhere on your monitor.
Check
I
to
didn't get that,
ensure that
but
you
I
don't
would
have a
think
video
that this
pinned.
is local to your machine. But this recording, which can see my screen, will be sent afterwards. So
Is there an addition?
we'll make sure you get that. Okay, back to the demo. So I've successfully added one student here. And the authorization code is very important to share with the student. So once the practice test is configured, you would simply ask your students to go to this site, which is financialliteracy.practicetest.starttest.com. Our demo school is called the Wise High School.
Oh,
Okay, great. So I'm going to create a new account here for a hypothetical student.
that's awful.
2025 0624. Okay, grade level, course. Okay, so Bob has successfully created an account. This is the authorization code that is shared by the teacher. And next, Bob will click on the Add Class button. And then if he navigates to the Anytime Assignments tab, he will see that the teacher has created 2 quizzes, one with 15 difficult questions. These are randomized. A lot of them are taken from the actual post-test. So again, it's a great way to simulate the post-test. And then we also have the credit quiz. So clicking Start launches the quiz. And I probably won't go through all of this, but it's 15 minutes. 15 questions. And what's really nice is at the end, the student gets to see which questions they got wrong and which questions they got correct, with the rationale provided for each of the questions. And when we go back to the teacher interface, the teacher can also see results of the student. So we have a record locator here for Bob, and once he completes the practice test, his score will be displayed there for you. So major highlights there is that we have also removed login requirements for both financial literacy and the practice test by removing the first name, last name, and date of birth. I'm sorry. We have replaced the username with student ID for student login to financial literacy and the practice test. So again, to highlight how the login workflow will begin working after Wednesday's release is that students will be prompted to submit their combination of either first name, last name, and date of birth using only a month and
They
date,
have answered my question.
or they can provide their student ID and last name. So I think that's a nice new change that will streamline authentication into the applications and no longer require a student to remember their password.
I need somebody to ask that question.
So I think we have just 30 minutes allocated for this webinar. I think I've covered all the changes that are coming on Wednesday. Are there any questions that we can answer at this time?
Yeah, Dario, Robin Anderson has their hand raised for a question.
Yes, please.
Hey, Dario. I think this question is also in the chat. I needed to know, we're starting summer testing July the 2nd. Will there be any IT changes that we need to make our departments aware of so that, with your browser or anything that we need to make sure that they are aware of to get these changes done on these student computers in time for testing?
No changes are required by IT staff supporting this application at schools. This is going to be deployed exclusively to production versions of Program Workshop and the ancillary sites. So it's all web-based, and no technology changes are required with student computers, for example, or other resources like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jabe, Kyle? Lizzie, you may have to unmute Jabe.
Yeah, I have a question about the students registering. Are they going to have to register at the practice website, and are they going to have to re-register when they take an exam, or is it all interconnected?
The practice and financial literacy websites are two distinct websites requiring two separate registrations. They can.
Dario, so it's integrated now, but it doesn't, wherever they register, the rosters will feed into each other.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Thank
so they can register at either place, but it like Dario said, it is still different depending if they're doing the practice quiz or not, but they'll have the same login across the board for all of the features on the program.
So once they've logged into the practice test, I would be able to populate classes for the exam, and they would be able to use the login that they've already created to take the practice or to take the actual exam?
Yes.
Thank you.
Robin, did you have another question?
I did. Thank you. Sorry to be asking a lot, but in the past, I have normally done all of the uploading, where we could go in and upload the students into the various schools. Is that no longer an option? The students now have to do the registration on their own?
No, you can continue to create classes underneath the classes screen that I'm demoing now. And you can do a bulk upload here and create student records for them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Lizzie, were there any other questions in the chat, or does anyone else have any?
I've been responding to some in the chat. So one thing is that that's I've seen a couple questions about just with like a URL is I've put it in the chat, I think once, but it might be a little lost there. So we can include the URLs that are still the same as what we always have been using. Those haven't changed. I'll include those in like the follow-up email that we're gonna send out to like later today. But yeah, so you can use the apps on the Chromebook or also the URLs or, downloading the secure browser. But the URLs are gonna, continue to be the same that you've already been using with your students.
Thank you for bringing that up. So I also want to add on that we will be updating all of our administrative guides accordingly to reflect these changes. So they will certainly be updated and released together when we confirm your registrations for your schools prior to fall testing. And then we are also going to be translating or transcribing some of the core features for test administration, setting up classes, and many other rote workflows into short videos that we plan to embed on the home screen that I'm demoing here. And so this will be a veritable knowledge base of sorts where teachers and yourselves can go and access video-based tutorials that will hopefully be discrete and concise and quickly give you the answers that you may need. And Jeanette, question from you?
Hey, Dario. In one of the options, I think it's in Proctor, there was another tab that said rosters. What's that about? And could we have a quick look at that, please?
Rosters. So I'm on the Proctor screen. I don't see.
I think it was when you created a session.
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so here you can look up a student name for quick access.
And the roster tab here up next to the Proctor tab.
Oh, I see. So this is a summary tab that will capture the students that are testing or have tested.
Isn't that similar to what usually happens when the students are testing in the first place? Or
Yes.
because usually it's on the Proctor one, isn't it?
There are no changes to the roster tab.
Okay.
We've simply renamed test delivery to Proctor, and the other change here is specific to accommodation settings. Amisha Jefferson, you have a question?
Yes, good afternoon. In the practice test site, I was wondering, are there any options or will there be any future options to adjust the time of the test? So like when you have a 15-question test, it only gives you 15 minutes. But if you have students that have accommodations, will there be any plans to adjust the times to a practice test?
We currently do not have any plans to change time or add time to the practice test, but we can certainly give that consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think that would be adopted by your students and a good enhancement?
I personally think so.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Christina Glickstein?
Yes, good afternoon. I had a question about the accommodations that you mentioned about language choices and other adaptations I'm seeing with some of my students. I have ELL students that I would be curious to know how they might be able to change their test into their native language. And also for students who are required by their IEP to have an option for a paper pencil test. So far, my understanding is that WISE has only been available digitally. So we have not been compliant in that request for a paper pencil exam in the WISE proctoring. Is there any way for us to work around that problem?
So to answer your first question, we have a multitude of glossaries in different foreign languages that we can certainly provide to you with pleasure. We do have a Spanish version of the test. It happens to be in paper format only. And before we send that to you, please check with your state Department of Education because I know that the Virginia DOE only allows certification testing in English language. For your second question, that was the ELA question. Can you remind me of the second question, please?
The availability of a paper pencil test in
Oh,
English
yes.
for students whose accommodations require that.
So again, it is still available in English and in paper form with the accompanying Scantron bubble sheet. We would simply send it to you, and it's $10 that covers the cost of us scoring it, postage, and other ancillary expenses.
Thank you. And what is the process for requesting that?
Or you just simply send Lizzie and myself an email request.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you all for the great questions. How about you, Seth?
Yes, thank you. Uh, I may have missed it, but under reports, is that similar to the data feed section that we had before?
Yes, it's identical. No changes here. I'm on the report screen now. So this is the screen that teachers would go to run the score reports, which again are made available almost in real time as soon as a student completes their test. You also have access to the certification report where if a student passes the test, then again, the cut score is 66% on the student test. Then you can create a custom certificate with their name on it and our seal and make them a very happy student. But no changes are forthcoming to the reporting screen. We do have some exciting developments where we are purchasing Tableau, which is a leading best-in-class analytics platform. So we're excited to roll that out in the second half of the school year. But that will really give teachers a lot more attractive access to data and reporting. So please look forward to that.
Okay, and like as far as I know, it's within like the data feeds we get that, not necessarily the report on this way, but it was where we can get it, where we get the it in a spreadsheet format. Is that still going to be available?
Yes. So currently, administrators with access to the district level in our hierarchy within Program Workshop, so not at the school level, but at the
Okay.
district level, those users have access to a feature called data feeds.
Yeah,
And
okay, perfect.
there you can create a CSV report with all of your school score data, respectively.
All right, thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Robbie, go ahead.
Ken, one of the questions I have, I'm sorry, I got here just a tad bit late and you may have already said this. For the secured browser that you had listed on that front page, if we have the secure browser installed or it has been pushed out to all of our Chromebooks at the high school level, do we need to take that one off and push out a new Chrome secure browser app?
Yeah, I'm glad you raised that. Google is introducing some changes, I think this summer, to the Chrome browser. So let us follow up on this webinar and provide the information for you. And there's also information regarding the Google extension for Chromebooks. So we'll include that with the recording of this webinar.
So right now we have, like when we go into the Chromebooks, down in the bottom, we have a little apps button. They click and it says WISE Financial Literacy, and they click there, then they're in a secured browser to take the test. Is that the same as having an extension? That you go into you have to log in and go into the Chrome browser. But the way we have them now, you don't log in. You just go to the apps on the Chromebook.
Yeah, I think the extension is part of the secure browser, but
Okay.
let us confirm that 100%.
Okay. Oh, one more question. I have students right now that are in summer school and they're taking economics and personal finance. So I'm going to have to go and test them. Should I use, and that would be towards the end of July. And I know in the email you said what time you're going to switch over. When are you switching over to the new browser?
It's
Or the new
sorry,
platform?
can you clarify if you're speaking about the Google Chromebook?
Yeah, they're going to be taking the test on a Google Chromebook at the end of July. Do we use
Oh.
do it the old test the old way, or are you going to have the new platform up by then? And then we need to use the new method or the new
I'll have to
platform?
get back to you on the release schedule that Google is supporting, but it is this summer.
Yeah, so you're going live on the 25th. We won't test till July. So I guess it'll be with the new platform.
Yes, but the purpose of this demo is specific to changes in Program Workshop. It does not, we're not speaking about the Google Chromebooks now.
Okay.
So this release is scheduled for Wednesday in 2 days' time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions? John, you're muted.
Okay. With the pretest, if we do the pretest in September or October, they can do all the registration then at that point in time, correct? Where we just go to the WISE exam, they're registered already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be okay. So they'll take the pretest, then they're registered. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not finding the link to raise my hand, but I posted and a few people mentioned as well. Could you share the link to the practice site that you referenced earlier that students could log into to access the practice assignments and such?
Sure. Lizzie, could you please put that in the chat?
Yes, give me 1 second. I can do that.
Financial literacy.starttest.practice, I believe. Great. Well, thanks all very much for giving us your time. Oh, I think there's one more question from A. Stocks.
Hi, I'm sorry. I am in Virginia and the kids can have the translation dictionary. So when you were just talking about the glossary, that would be extremely helpful. Is that something you can send to us as well?
Yes, if you could please email Lizzie and myself with the language that you would like for the glossary, and we have many glossaries available.
Okay, can you drop your emails in the chat and I'll get that information down before we leave? Thank you.
So Lizzie, please add our emails to the chat for any future questions, and we'll follow up shortly with this webinar's recording and information regarding Google's pending release for Chromebooks. Well, it was a pleasure.
Sorry, Dario, I'm just gonna add one more thing. It seems like everyone has a lot of questions and would like to do more webinars. I will have a Google Forms link or Microsoft Forms link in the email. Please, please, please fill it out. It'll just be probably like 1 or 2 questions. And the main question is really just going to be like, what are topics that you would like to have webinars about or see different material on, and we can start organizing those and maybe use some of the time in the summer to hold more stuff like this for questions and making sure everyone is, secure in changes and just overall program features. So please take a look at that too when you get the email later today.
Great.
Well, again, thanks very much all for participating and realizing that a lot of you are already on your summer vacations. So please go back to enjoying them if that's the case. And Wednesday's release should go very smoothly. We don't anticipate any problems. So we really look forward to servicing your needs throughout the summer with regards to testing and into the fall. So good to see you all, and thank you very much.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dario.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Lizzie, I think we can stop the recording.